Are you invisible? If you're creating amazing offers, posting consistently, and you're still hearing crickets, you just could be invisible and you don't even know it. Discovery isn't about being everywhere. It's about being findable to the right people. Let's talk about how your next clients are looking for you and what's keeping them from actually finding you. Welcome to the Midlife Business Academy. I'm Lori Lyons, marketing strategist, business coach, and accidental techie. After years of running a successful website design agency, I'm now building the business of my dreams and helping other midlife entrepreneurs do the same. From strategy to marketing to mindset, we covered what really matters when you're growing a business that fits your life. Let's get started. Hi there, and welcome back to the Midlife Business Academy, where we talk about building a business that fits your life and not the other way around. I'm your host, Lori Lyons, and today we're starting down the client journey road path, the 8 stages every client walks through on their way from stranger to your raving fan. Last week, in our last episode, we talked about the why behind this whole framework, why selling to strangers doesn't work, and how understanding your client's journey changes everything. So we're going to break each step of the journey down, starting today. Our first stage is discover, because no matter how brilliant your offers are, how great your systems are, or how beautifully your website is designed, if people can't find you, none of that matters. I've told many of my clients after we've completed their website design, this is not a case of build it and they will come. This is a case of you have to talk about it for them to come. Visibility is oxygen for your business, and without it, nothing else will breathe. So let's start with the invisible expert problem. Most midlife entrepreneurs I talk to aren't beginners. You're experienced. You've spent years, sometimes decades, building expertise. You've got the goods, you've got the results, you've got the reputation. But in the digital space, you're invisible. And that invisibility doesn't come from lack of skill, it comes from lack of strategy. You can't convert those who can't find you. And too many of you assume that just because you exist online, because you have a website, or you post occasionally on LinkedIn, or you do funny TikToks on TikTok, you think that you're discoverable. But discoverability isn't automatic, it's intentional. Let me go back to that phrase from the Field of Dreams, build it and they will come, because it doesn't apply here, as I said earlier. Maybe it does years and years from now. But you know what? As midlife business owners, we don't have that kind of time. We don't have 10 years to play around with this, or at least most of us don't. So think about this. The internet is this big, giant marketplace, and there are millions of conversations happening every second. If you're not showing up in the right ones, the right people never know you're there. So discovery isn't about shouting louder. It's about being in the right room. So what is the true purpose of the discover stage? It's not about convincing people to buy from you. It's about helping them realize you exist. At this point, your ideal client may not even know they have a problem yet. Or if they do, they haven't named it clearly. I talk about symptoms of problems all the time. Your ideal clients are feeling discomfort or they're feeling frustration around something in their business or life. Your job in the discovery phase is to plant a seed, to show up where they're already looking, to make them pause and think, that's interesting. I never thought about it like that. When you do this well, you create that first spark of awareness for you. And from that awareness, connection can become possible. And this is the key. The way you approach discovery changes depending on where you are in your business journey. So if you're just in that figure it out stage, that starting out phase, discovery is simple and it's personable and personal. You don't need complex funnels or expensive ads. You need visibility in the right circles. So you could show up in your local networking groups, in Facebook communities. Facebook groups are still a great place to find your ideal client. You want to make guest appearances on podcasts. There, I don't remember what the actual number is anymore, but there's a ton of podcasts, and a lot of them are looking for guests. Don't go to the top ranking, John Lee Dumas or Joe Rogan type of podcast. Look at the podcasts where your ideal client might be hanging out. And it doesn't just have to be somebody in that wellness stage. It can be somebody in comedy or true drama, true crime. I think it's called true crime. I was looking it up this morning, and true crime and comedy are the biggest growth markets in the midlife entrepreneur space. Just a thought. You also want to do collaborations or co-marketing with peers. At this stage, your goal isn't reach, it's recognition. People are buying from you, not your brand. So show up where they can see your personality, your energy, your values. And I'm not saying that TikTok reels aren't good. I'm just saying if that's all you're depending on, it's going to be a long journey. But you want to focus on consistency, because if people see you once and then you disappear, they forgot you even existed. So it's just like that squeaky wheel, that gets the oil. You just want to keep showing up and let them know who you are and see who you are. So discoverability is about showing up often enough that people start saying, oh, yeah, I keep seeing her name. I was in a clothing store. This is a couple of years ago when I was doing a lot of local networking. And I was on a lot of Facebook Lives when Facebook Lives first started coming up. And I was, this was before my marketing agency really took off. And I was selling jewelry. I was selling a direct marketing jewelry product. And somebody came up to me in this very random clothing store and said, oh, Lori, I see your stuff all the time. And I'm like, really? It made, first of all, it made me feel like a superstar. Second, it made me feel really good. And third, it made me think, okay, this stuff actually works. So you just never know what somebody's out there looking for you and looking at you and paying attention, because that's how you get recognition, and recognition will build. So if you're in the second phase of your business, the work it out phase, this stage will look a little different for you, because once you've been in business for a while, discovery will look different. If you've already proven that your offer works, you've got testimonials, you've got some traction, and you've got some loyal clients who love you. So this is where you shift from random visibility to strategic visibility. So you ask yourself, where are my best clients hanging out right now? Not just clients who can afford to pay you, but your best, ideal, right fit, whatever you want to call them, dream clients. What platforms or communities do they trust? Where are they? And who already has their attention that I can collaborate with? This is where that really cool JV or collaboration comes in. This stage is all about focus. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things consistently. So, for example, instead of posting across 6 different platforms, you might decide that you're getting your best traction on LinkedIn. So you focus there. Or you might find that you're really good with podcast guesting. So instead of running cold ads to traffic and cold traffic, you might want to focus here on referral partners or joint ventures. You're at a stage where that works really well. Your goal is to move from being one of many to being top of mind. So now if you're in the scaling or in the rocket out phase, you're the multi-six-figure business owner or the seasoned entrepreneur, and you already have a presence. At this stage, discovery isn't about visibility. It's about reach. You want to amplify your message beyond your current audience and build an ecosystem that attracts people at scale. This is where you want to spend some bucks on speaking on stages, speak to sell. This is where you want to be a little more picky about the podcast guest appearances. This is where you want to make sure that you are purchasing premium space in summits. Spend some money. You're going to need to spend some money to make some money at this stage. So it might also mean building a strong SEO strategy. Again, speaking on bigger stages, you might want to run strategic ad campaigns at this time. Notice that this is really the first time we've really talked about starting to run ads. So when you're in that mid six figure, this might be a good time to start looking at it. You might want to publish books or host your own podcast if you don't have one already. You want to leverage PR or media features. This is where your personal visibility shifts into your personal brand visibility. You become a thought leader, not just a service provider. But the foundation is the same. You're still helping people find you. You're just doing it with more leverage and less hustle. And that's the beauty of understanding the client journey. You always want to know where to invest your energy next. And if you're that boss it out stage, do all of the above. Do everything, because at this point, you're really just sitting back and building an expert audience. You are the known expert in your space. Leverage that. So let's talk about how clients actually discover you, because there's a big mystery about, I hear all the time from my clients, how do people find me? How do I get discovered? How do I do this? There's the myth that clients magically find you through the word of mouth or the algorithm. But here's what really happens. Every client who finds you is following a trail of touch points. They might see your name in a group. You've posted and made thoughtful, expert comments in group postings. You've answered questions. You've put your name out there. People will click on it and find it if they like what you're saying. They hear you on a podcast. They visit your website. They read one of your blogs. Go back and listen to some of my episodes on repurposing content. Create blogs. Blogs are not dead. Blogs are excellent ways to get SEO. They've watched a video. You've been tagged by someone who knows you in a post. Especially on LinkedIn. If you go in LinkedIn and that's where your ideal client is, people are really good about commenting on posts where you've posted on. I do that all the time. I look at who's posted on other people's comments and I look at who they are. Good way and I've connected with a lot of people that way. So good way to get your name out there is by commenting on posts. Each of these is a breadcrumb that leads you closer to that client awareness. The key to discovery is creating enough of those breadcrumbs so that wherever they turn, there you are. You're offering something of value, because discovery isn't one post. It's not one launch. It's not one reel. It's the pattern people notice when you keep showing up with purpose and you're consistent about it. And when they see that pattern, that's where trust will begin, because you're consistent. So I'm sure you're sitting there thinking like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of work. So let's talk about the energy behind the stage of discovery, because it's not just about being visible. It has a certain feel to it. It's curious, it's exploratory, it's open. This is where your message should feel inviting, not necessarily instructive. You want to be inspiring. You don't want to be salesy. You're not telling people what to do. You're showing them what's possible. You're aspirational. And for us as midlife entrepreneurs, it can be tricky because we've been taught, and goodness knows I do it. I catch myself doing it all the time. You have to lead with credibility. We have to show our experience, our results, our authority. I'm the teacher, remember? I teach. And it's really hard for me to take a step back and not do that. But early discovery isn't about proving that you know your stuff. It's about showing you understand your ideal clients and the problems that they have. You understand the symptoms of their problems because when people feel seen, they lean in. When they feel sold to, they lean out. So if your discover stage feels like a brochure, make a shift. Make it toward aspirational. Make it toward what are the possibilities so that you're starting conversations. You're not taking campaigns the next step further. You just want to start a conversation. So discovery versus awareness has a subtle but very crucial difference because it isn't the same. Awareness is broad. It's when somebody knows you exist, but discovery is specific. It's when they realize you exist and what you're known for. So, awareness, people can be aware of who I am, but they may not know what I do or why I exist. So, it's very specific. So, when somebody might be aware that branding coaches, okay, so let me give you an example. Somebody might be aware that real estate agents exist, but they haven't discovered you as a real estate agent. Or there are a bazillion business coaches out there. We all know a bazillion business coaches, but they aren't aware that I'm a business coach. So for me, I've been in the website design space for years. That's where I've been known for. And I'm taking this client journey personally because I'm having to rebuild my discover phase. I'm having to reframe from website design agency owner who did marketing and business coaching as we were going through the process to being a straight business coach and being a straight marketing coach. So that's been a real challenge for me is to make sure that I'm getting that out there. So I had awareness and I had discovery. I just need to make it very specific. And I did that. I connected my story. I just told you a story here. You know what my values are, and you know what my perspective is. You know what I care about. So it's not just about marketing, it's about the meaning behind it. So moving forward in the discovery phase, there are some mistakes that I want you to be aware of. Don't try to skip ahead. Don't try to jump straight to conversion messaging because people even think they know who you are. It's like handing somebody a contract before you even shake their hand. Don't blend in. Don't mimic what everybody else is saying. Bring your own voice to the conversation. Being professional doesn't mean being generic. And I said this a couple of times in this episode, show up consistently. Discovery takes repetition. If you post once a month or you show up sporadically, people forget about who you are. They're going to look at who's top of mind because it's easier. Consistency builds familiarity, and familiarity builds trust. You're chasing instead of attracting. Think about when you're, you know, we had an issue last night with with my cat. It got into a paper bag, and then the handle of the paper bag got caught in its neck. The more I chased it, the more it hid. Finally, when I just consistently kept calling it, she finally came out. We were able to move the handle of the paper bag from around her neck. But it said the more I chased her, the more she went away. But when I just started being, consistently calling her and being aspirational, I can get that handle off your neck. It really, and then she wasn't in any danger. It just more scared her than anything. So it isn't about chasing leads. It's about positioning yourself so that the right people find you. And when you understand what this stage is really for, that helps you to stop spinning your wheels and you can show up strategically. So before I finish, I want to preview what's coming next because discovery will flow naturally into the next stage of connect. When someone has discovered you, they're asking, do I like this person? Do I relate to what they're saying? Do they understand me? And that's an emotional bridge. Connection isn't built on information, it's built on resonance. And that's where your brand voice, your story, and who you are come in. So if discovery is about being found, the next stage of connection is about being felt. And we'll talk about that in the next episode. One of my clients is a professional organizer, and she was really struggling to get noticed. She was posting all the time on Instagram. Instagram is a great place if you're a professional organizer. And she was doing everything that they said. She was posting what everybody else was posting, but nothing was working. So when we took a look at where she was in her client journey, we realized we were speaking to people who already were ready to hire her. Her audience wasn't there yet. They were still in the discovery phase. So she was talking to people she was already working with. She wasn't talking to new people. So she didn't realize that the real cost of their disorganization. So she shifted her content. Instead of get rid of these 10 things, she started showing how clutter affects their mental clarity, their productivity, even their relationships. So she wasn't showing before and afters. She was talking about the emotional aspects of decluttering, which set her apart from all the other professional organizers. So within a couple of months, her engagements tripled and she booked out her calendar. Do you not think that she was making some money at that point? She was busy, she was productive, she was helping clients, and she was really living in her sweet spot. And then she took that same feeling and she developed a program. So she was consistently working with the same clients over and over and over again and helping them in other areas of their life besides decluttering their pantry. Same person, same platform, different stage. That's the understanding of discovery. So here's your action step for today. I want you to think about where you are in the discovery phase. How do new people find you? Where are you showing up consistently? What platforms or partnerships have brought you your best clients? And are you showing up where your audience is? Are you just showing up where you like and where you're comfortable? I've had many clients say, well, I don't like being on Facebook. I like Instagram. But the reality is their ideal clients were on Facebook, not Instagram. Or I don't like doing YouTube. Okay, I totally get that because I don't either. But a lot of their ideal clients were looking for what they were offering on YouTube. It was there in the searches. So look at where your ideal client is showing up, not where you're most comfortable. Do people understand what I do within 10 seconds of discovering me? I've mentioned this before. Go back and ask people, to tell you what you do. See if they get it right. There lies your answer. Because discovery isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters most at this stage. So here's your takeaway. Visibility isn't about vanity. It's viability. You can't serve the people who need you most if they can't find you. So whether you're building your first client base or scaling to your next million, discovery will never stop. It just evolves. So take a look at how people are finding you today and make sure that path is clear, consistent, and compelling. If you're not sure where the gaps are in your client journey or which stage needs the most attention, that's exactly what I help business owners uncover every day. You can schedule your profitable path alignment call with me at talkwithlori.com. That's talkwithlori.com. We'll identify where your clients are dropping off and what small changes can make a big difference in your visibility and revenue. Because you don't have to shout to be seen. You just need to be discoverable. So if today's episode gave you an aha, share it with another entrepreneur who's ready to stop hiding and start being found. And remember, visibility isn't about being everywhere. It's about being in the right place for the right people. Until next time, I'm reminding you, it's never too late to build the business of your dreams. Thank you for joining me on the Midlife Business Academy. If today's episode made you think or made you feel, or made you feel seen, share it with a fellow business owner who could use it too. When you're ready for more support, you'll find the link to book your Profitable Path Blueprint call in the show notes. I'll be back next week with more insight and strategy to help you build a business that truly fits your life and one of your dreams. We'll see you next time on the Midlife Business Academy.